I think that जो भी label रख रहे हैं ये लोग, that all of that is fine, but love is love, and love को आप control नहीं कर सकते. All these young people who are in 18 to I think 26, 27, you're in their 20s, and they're all in one space. All of them are single. They are all looking for love. You're going to figure it out, control your emotions, and we will figure it out later. But right now, you're going to get it together. Please check out MTV Splitsvilla 15. ExSqueeze me, please.
Hi, Sunny. Welcome to ETimes. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And new season, lot of excitement. The promos looks absolutely stunning. How has it been with a new season?
Oh, it's absolutely amazing to be a part of this season. It's my 9th, and it's crazier than ever. And we have contestants and we have exes this year, which adds so much masala to the entire show.
Right. And this time you have a friend, a co-star with whom you have worked in the past, Tanuj. So how was it catching up with him as a co-host this time, not as a co-actor?
Right. He's so much fun. He's very smart. He's very stylish. He's very witty. He talks a lot, which is great. And we had so much fun, and he was very emotionally invested, physically invested, and watching him from the very beginning of the show and all the way towards the end, and he just enjoyed as much as I enjoyed, which is the best part, because it's so much fun to watch these contestants and their journey through the show. And him and I believe we did a good job guiding them.
But you tell me, you have been a veteran when it comes to hosting now, because you have hosted already 9 seasons. How much did you help him or give him tips when it comes to hosting the season?
So I didn't really give him so many tips. I think it was mainly just be yourself, have fun, don't worry about anything. If you feel something, just say it, enjoy. I think the only thing where myself and the director, we would be going like this, telling him, no, don't stop them, let them go, let them figure out what they need to do. If they're fighting, if they're have comments towards each other, I would always be like, no, don't talk yet, and he'd be like, oh, okay, sorry. But in that way, it was a lot of fun. I didn't really have to tell him so much, other than let them be, let them do their thing.
But did you feel in a way there was a good feeling, because this time there was a host, that someone whom you have known previously, so there is a comfort when it comes to a co-host.
Right. So we worked together on a film, and on the film, I wouldn't even say that we got to know each other so well as much as what we did on the show. The film, you sit there, you're in your character, director ko sun rahe, you have to watch and see what's happening, and we're in our own worlds. There's our team, there's our families, there's going back and forth to set. Yahan to we were together 24 hours, not 24 hours, right, but most of the day we were together.
Most and that's
waking up, lunch, dinner, being on set, sitting on set together, waiting in between, playing games. I got to know his wife, and my family was also there. So there's just so much more bonding, even from our standpoint. And with that, it definitely made it a lot easier, because I already knew him and I knew he's a very nice person and that we already get along together. So it definitely made it easier, and him and his wife, they're just amazing people.
And Sunny, when it comes to Splitsvilla, it is one of the most longest running shows of Indian television. What do you think, according to you, what makes it so unique and so special amongst the youth and amongst the audience?
So I think you answered some of this in your question, which is the youth. And everything always is ever changing with our youth. And they really are the voice of what's happening outside in our regular worlds. And that's what's amazing. That's what's ever changing. That is something that, you know, you will never have the same personalities or the same thoughts or the same dressing sense or, you know, the language that they use and how they speak and their thought process. That will never be the same. It cannot be repeated because we're all individuals. And because they're young and they appeal to the youth, it just makes it, all the puzzle pieces just come together and it makes for an interesting show.
But last season we saw, and in fact, in couple of seasons, you faced quite a lot of tough situations. Especially, there are times when a few contestants go overboard while they're interacting with you. How do you tackle these tough situations? Because sometimes they go overboard and say they make some nasty comments, or they
Yeah,
try
they
to,
do.
you know, get.
Um, you know, I don't necessarily take it personally, and there were moments like that this season as well. One comment, I didn't even figure out what this person was saying until later, and I was like, oh, that person was not being nice to me. um, but you know, I don't necessarily take it to heart. And you know, there's a lot of situations that happen where they're so caught up in their emotions and they don't even realize that they're being rude or weird or mean, or that they're even saying something that would be portrayed to the outside world as something that maybe we should not make those comments. And they're essentially role models, and they forget sometimes that they're role models, and we have to bring them back and say, listen, you, there's certain things we should do on TV, certain things we should talk about, certain things we should not. So a lot of that guidance happens. And
Yeah.
I get very emotionally invested in them, and I'll yell at them, and then they'll get upset, or, you know, we'll talk about it, we won't talk about it, or there's certain things that we have to absolutely 100% put our foot down and say, this is unacceptable. And it is
Yeah.
not something that MTV stands for, and we cannot have this happen again or repeated. So there's, you know, they're young and they make mistakes, and we all learn from them, and even I learn from them.
Yeah, but is it difficult to remain calm and composed in these situations, or resolve this difficult situations objectively?
It's very difficult. There was one situation where I had to literally yell at everybody to sit down and don't move, don't talk, and because it had gotten so out of control and so wild. And then finally I got the go ahead, Sunny, you have to do something and get this under control. And my way of control is, you know, I made them all sit down in that situation. But there's lots of situations that are completely not controllable, and you have to raise your voice, and you have to, I also have to yell at them and say, listen, guys, this is not happening. But we all love each other and forgive each other by the end of the show.
But as you said, Sanya, you just mentioned that you are an emotional person. Does it sometimes disturb you when people take that niceness or sweetness, to their advantage, and they go overboard while they are interacting with you?
Yeah, of course, it depends on वो इंसान कौन है, क्या बोल रहे, and to what level they're saying something where most things you can just let it go. And then, yeah, of course, you know, you're human. You have emotions and, you know, things that certain people say hurt you. But I wouldn't say that that's something that I go through on Splitsvilla. That would be more of an outside thing. With Splitsvilla, it's everybody's emotions are on high. We're all getting through this show together. And there are a lot of things, a lot of stress that happens with these contestants and how we guide them through or help them. Or there's certain times where I've gone up to someone this season and said, listen, you're going to get it together now. There's no option. You're going to control figure it out, control your emotions, and we will figure it out later. But right now, you're going to get it together. And literally in this tone, I've had to speak to some of them, and they just look up at me like, okay, okay. But there's nothing else that we can, there's certain situations where we can't do anything at that moment. We have to wait for everything to calm down for them, for us to be able to help them. But to get them to calm down and stop crying or screaming or yelling or fight, that's, you know, I wouldn't say that it's tough love. I believe it's just being very, very direct. And, you know, hopefully I wasn't too insensitive. But I turned into like mom for a second and said, no, this is not happening. You're going to control yourself and you're going to get it together. So yeah, it becomes difficult.
Yeah. But what are your personal learnings from these 9 years when it comes to relationships? What are the things that you have taken home from, you know, these people? Because sometimes, you know, you meet people and you learn so much from them. In, you know, whether it is in our personal life or professional commitments, we keep on learning from people. So what has been learnings for you when it comes to these 9 seasons?
I've learned a lot of patience. But I think one of the things that stays the same with Splitsvilla is love, and you cannot stop when love comes into your life. And I do believe that there are moments in the show where two people, you're watching them fall in love. And then it doesn't matter what generation they're from, whether they're Gen Z, whether they're my generation, your generation, anybody's generation. Love is love. And when it comes to you, it hits you hard. And sometimes you know how to act, sometimes you don't know how to act, sometimes you do foolish things and push it away. So, I mean, those things stay the same for each of the seasons. And I love to believe in love. And with, you know, all the terms change each year, how we approach love changes, but those feelings all remain the same. We want somebody to make us feel special and that we're the only one, and that person cares for us and loves us, or whatever those feelings are.
But you know, in these 9 seasons, have you also learned to judge people well? Because these shows, you know, these reality shows, sometimes the contestants participate just to be seen in the show, and the relationships also that they make on the show, sometimes they are fake, because the moment they come out, they just break up, or you know, they part ways, or they don't even remain friends with each other. So do you feel, you know, sometimes while hosting them or guiding them, you also get to know that this person is actually faking and he doesn't or she doesn't mean this?
I think शायद एक दो लोग होंगे, maybe they feel like that. But what happens, and this is just basic like human psychology, is that if you stick 10 people in a room, you are going to form bonds with those people. That is a fact. Whether you hate them, love them, want to romance them, whether you're falling in love with them, it doesn't matter. And that's what happens, is we have all these young people who are in 18 to I think 26, 27, you're in their 20s, and they're all in one space. All of them are single. They are all looking for love. And you are standing in front of all these people. You're naturally, psychologically going to feel attracted to one, maybe one person, maybe multiple people, who knows? And as each situation changes, then yes, your emotions also change. So I don't think that those emotions are fake. I don't think that those emotions and what happens in the scenarios are something that you can control. Maybe when they first walked into Splitsvilla, वो auditions में शायद उनके mind में ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैं ऐसे होंगी, मैं ऐसे करूंगा, मैं वैसा करूंगा, मैं किसी को ये नहीं करूंगा, blah 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 blah, जो भी बोला आपके mind में. But वो चीजें नहीं होते. After a certain point, how you are is who comes out on television. So your own personal things do come out. Your personal emotions do come out. It is impossible that someone goes through this entire journey without feeling something, because even some of the people who were on this in this season who I felt, man, these guys are not talking or whatever, but they were so into their own relationship. So
Hmm.
that way, they were doing their own thing. So yeah, I think in the beginning you come in with a mindset that मैं टीवी पे जाऊंगी and I'm going to be famous and मैं
Yeah.
ये करूंगी but वो चीजें धीरे धीरे वो खत्म हो जाता है.
Hmm.
And so I don't believe it's all fake. I like believing it's real. जो मैंने अपने आंखों से देखा है मुझे वो चीज I mean, I watch people literally break down, like breaking inside, broken
Hmm.
heart. And वो चीज fake नहीं कर सकते. So I think it's real.
And we are 90s kids. For us, love is like, calling from landline, or, texting from our first mobile phones, or writing letters. Uh, these days, relationships or their meaning or definition has changed. There's so much distraction available, options available for people. Uh, what do you have to say about love, in these times?
Right. I think that जो भी label रख रहे हैं ये लोग
Hmm.
that all of that is fine, but love is love, and love को आप control नहीं कर सकते. And how we show it, yes, maybe that might change a little bit because we need hearts on our Instagram page or comments or all these different things. But at the end of the day, a girl wants to feel special, a boy wants to feel special. That person who we met when we first got married or that we first started dating,
Yeah.
that person doesn't exist after 10 years or
I
15
agree.
years, 20 years, or maybe even 5 years, because we're changing. Certain situations happen within our relationship. And yes, kids, the love that grows between, I think, a mother and a father, husband and wife, after children also changes, and it becomes admiration for that person and how they treat your children and how they take care of you and how they take care of your children, and how you both work together towards raising good human beings. I mean, that also plays a huge factor in
Hmm.
love towards each.
What are the things that they have taught you, your kids?
My kids, I mean, they teach me things every day about either compassion or patience or, they're all completely different. So I have to treat them completely different. And that's an ever learning process because they're 6 and my daughter's 8. So they live on completely different planets, all three of them. So I'm always learning.
Any message to viewers who will be watching the show, the new season?
Sure. To all the viewers out there, please check out MTV Splitsvilla 15. ExSqueeze me, please. And make sure you are ready for an emotional roller coaster this year because it is definitely that. Even I was crying, even I was yelling, even I was all involved the same way as they were. So I hope you enjoy as much as we love shooting.
Thank you so much, Sunny. Looking forward to yet another blockbuster season, and all the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you, and goodbye.
Bye.